Hello everyone, I am Dr. Prabha Agarwal, gynecologist and laparoscopic surgeon from Medicover Women and Child Hospital, High Tech City, Hyderabad. We are today here to discuss about fibroids, the most common tumors found in the reproductive tract, and the facts and myths related to the fibroids. So, first slide is fibroids are growth of fibrous tissue and smooth muscle cells which are grown in the myometrium of the uterus. They are the most frequently seen tumors of the female reproductive system, and majority of the women develop fibroid at some point in their life. A recent study by the American College of Obs and Gynae found that 70% of the Caucasian women and 80% of the African American women will develop fibroids by the age of 50. The exact causes are unknown, but the hormones, particularly the estrogen hormone plays a part in its increase. Fibroids increase in size slowly over the years. They are a very slow growing tumor, but when estrogen levels in your body rise, their rate of growth increases. The fibroids vary in size. Many are microscopic. A few are as big as oranges, and sometimes it can reach up to your diaphragm also. The fibroids are often found during routine pelvic examinations. If the fibroids are suspected, your doctor may ask you to go for further testing, including a transvaginal ultrasound, an MRI, or even a hysteroscopy or laparoscopy. The size and location of the fibroids varies greatly, and very small fibroids, the submucosal fibroids, and very small fibroids that are hidden behind the larger ones are not always detectable through a routine pelvic ultrasound. So this picture shows the type of fibroids. We have three types of fibroid wherein the fibroids will grow in the muscle layer of the uterus. Some fibroids are growing inside the uterine cavity, and some fibroids are growing outside the uterus. The symptoms and complications of the fibroid. The fibroids can manifest in various ways, like the patient may have painful periods or dysmenorrhea, cramping pain during their menses. They can have heavy bleeding during periods, which is called menorrhagia. They can have intermenstrual bleeding where they can have spotting for many days to be continued. Then there can be a bloating sensation in the abdomen, a pelvic pain and pressure. They can have pain during intercourse. They can have reproductive issues, infertility issues, and pregnancy also may be complicated sometimes. What are the risk factors of the fibroid? Basically, the fibroid's etiology is unknown, but lately there has been a change in the lifestyle, the sedentary lifestyle, the increased body mass, BMI of the patient, obesity has been linked to the increase in fibroids. Unhealthy diet has been linked to fibroid increase. Then the hormones, particularly the unopposed estrogen hormone, wherein an early menarche when you get an early menses, and late menopause when your menopause is delayed by 50-55 years, and when the pregnancy is delayed, and when the patient have lesser children and they are not breastfeeding the kids, then hormones can be more and it can lead to increase in fibroids. The race and genetics, the Caucasians, the African Americans are more prone to have fibroids. The endocrine disruptor chemicals are known to have a causative link, wherein the plastics and phenols which we regularly use for our plastic containers and the tiffin boxes, lunch boxes, even the plastics in the sanitary napkins have been linked with the rise in uterine fibroids. Now we will be discussing what are the myths related to the fibroid, means the things which are not exactly true. So first myth is that the fibroids are cancerous. No, it is not correct. The fibroids are tumors. Tumors can be of two types. They can be non-cancerous and cancerous. Fibroids are very slow growing tumors and they are not having cancer, and your once in a lifetime risk is about 1 into 1000 to get some cancer cell in the fibroid, and which is very rare. So the word tumor or cancer should not scare you if you have fibroids. The second most common myth is that I will know I have fibroids if I have terrible symptoms. But sometimes the fibroid, even the smaller ones or sometimes the larger ones, are asymptomatic, wherein you will not know whether you have fibroid or not unless you get a routine ultrasound done, and then the doctor will tell you that okay, you have a fibroid. So if the fibroids are symptomatic, you can have heavy bleeding, pain during intercourse, sometimes urinary symptoms, sometimes constipation, backache. These are very common symptoms, and very rarely you can be asymptomatic also, wherein you will not know that you have a fibroid unless you go for a scan. The third myth is that the fibroids affect women only in their reproductive age group, approximately from 30 to 40 years, but that is not very true. Nowadays, we are seeing an increase in fibroid at a lesser and younger age group also because of the endocrine disruptive chemicals, the increased use of plastics, the pollutants, and the environmental changes, their lifestyle changes, and all that. So, even in younger population, we are seeing fibroids, and the fibroids continue to grow till menopause at the age of 50 also, after which they just don't disappear. They might shrink in the size or they might continue to be like that. The fourth myth is that all the fibroids need a surgery or needs removal. It is not correct. Many times the fibroids are small. They don't cause any symptoms to you. You don't know the fibroids. You're not planning for a pregnancy. Your age is less. So for those fibroids, we can put you on medicines or some medical management. You don't need a fibroid surgery. Unless you have multiple fibroids, your uterus is showing some symptoms, you're planning for a pregnancy, you don't need to compulsorily remove the fibroids. The fifth myth is that the medications will make your fibroids disappear. We have a long list of medications available. The doctor can advise you the prescription medicines, wherein they'll give you medicines for the symptomatic relief, to decrease the pain, to decrease the bleeding, to shrink the fibroid size. But the fibroid doesn't disappear by medicines. It can just control your symptoms over a time, and once you stop the medicine, your symptoms may come back, and the medicines can have their own side effects, wherein you may need to stop the medicines after some time. The sixth myth is that if the fibroids are untreated, they will keep on growing. Some fibroids are very small, they don't grow all your life, but sometimes the fibroids grow at a very slower pace, and mostly they stop growing by the age of menopause. So the doctor has to decide whether your fibroid is growing at a faster pace and you need a treatment or not, or whether your fibroid has become stagnant and it doesn't need any treatment. The seventh myth is that the fibroids will disappear after menopause. After menopause, in our body, the estrogen and progesterone hormones are on a decline, wherein they can cause a shrinkage in the size of the fibroid, but they just don't disappear from your body. They can remain there, the size might reduce, and they may remain silent, for which you may not treat treatment, but still a postmenopausal woman needs a follow-up on ultrasound. The eighth myth is that the hysterectomy is the only available option once you have fibroids. Nowadays, because of the recent advances in the science and technology, and we are having so many minimally invasive options also available, hysterectomy is the last option to be considered only when your family life is completed, your age exceeds beyond 40 years, and you have multiple fibroids and symptomatic fibroids. Otherwise, we have less invasive options also, starting from medical management to conservative management, where you can conserve your uterus, your ovaries, you can plan for fertility as well. The treatment options available for uterine fibroids are symptomatic treatment, where they will give you medications for decreasing your bleeding and your pain. The surgery remains the mainstay of treatment for symptomatic fibroids. We have conservative surgeries, and then we have a definitive surgery. Conservative surgery means that we should be able to save your uterus, where we will remove only the fibroids and will conserve your uterus and your ovaries. This procedure is called myomectomy. Myomectomy can be done by various routes, either by a laparoscopy, by a hysteroscopy, laparotomy, or a robotic myomectomy, wherein you will only remove the myoma or the fibroids. Then we have another non-invasive treatment like uterine artery embolization, the MRI guided HIFU, wherein they will focus the laser energy or ultrasound guided energy on the fibroids and try to vaporize them or stop the feeding vessel to the fibroid so that it doesn't grow. But all those treatments are for very small fibroids and minimal number of fibroids. But when you have a multiple fibroids and the bigger ones, you definitely need to go for a surgery. Laparoscopic surgery is a minimally invasive surgery where you put 5 mm and 10 mm holes in your abdomen, and through a telescope and the laparoscopic instruments you go inside the abdomen and try to take out the fibroids. This is a minimally invasive procedure where mobilization is very fast. You can be ambulated 4 hours after surgery. You can be allowed liquid diet. Your pain relief will be very good. You will be able to resume your work very faster. The ninth myth is that once fibroids are removed, they can never come back. It's not like that. The doctor mostly tries to remove as much fibroids as they can see by ultrasound or by the naked eye, because they will be doing a mapping scan before surgery wherein the radiologist will tell them how many fibroids are there, and we go in and remove that many amount of fibroids. But sometimes the microscopic fibroids or seedling fibroids are there in the uterus which are not visualized by the naked eye, and so those fibroids may grow slowly over a year of 2-3 years or 5 years, and you can have a recurrence of fibroids. The 10th myth is that when you have fibroids you cannot conceive or your baby cannot grow up to the term. But not all fibroids cause infertility. The smaller fibroids which are outside the uterus and very small ones don't cause infertility unless they are growing inside the cavity, or they are distorting the architecture of the uterus or the fallopian tubes, or they are fighting with the blood supply for the baby. So these factors may cause infertility with the fibroids, but still the removal of the fibroid can cause fertility to return back, and you may be able to conceive a baby very soon. Once you are pregnant, few instructions need to be followed as per your doctor's advice, because post myomectomy or post removal of fibroids, the pregnancy is a little high risk pregnancy wherein you need to follow the doctor's advice. You may need to be on rest, you may need to be on some hormones, and there may be intrauterine growth retardation for the baby wherein the blood supply to the baby might be reduced, or there can be a risk of preterm labor, prematurity. But in all the ways your obstetrician is good enough to handle all these problems nowadays, and many women will go on to have healthy pregnancies and a healthy baby. If this video was informative to you and your doubts were getting clear, you can like and subscribe to our Medicover channel. Thank you.